Another Ants on a Rock video. Welcome to the Ant Corner.
Hey there ant fans, before I start I want to say the second part of this video, the link is in the description. It's the Diacamma whatever, Asian bullet ants moving into the tank. So if you want to see that video, follow the link in the description. It's not an advertised video, it's a secret video, hidden video thing. So follow the link, it's the only way to see it. Right, on with the video. I've had this tank sat there for months now, so I've been dying to get a colony in it, and I had the perfect colony. So, as always, I needed to give it a quick clean, which I've just done, and then I need to fill it with my drainage layer. So, a couple of inches of gravel, drainage layer, done. I'm not going to show you the whole process because you've seen how I do it, and I'll show you it step by step. Next, I cover the drainage layer with a separating layer. I do this simply by cutting a bin liner and putting sliced holes all throughout it so that the water can pass through, but hopefully the substrate won't. Next, I get my activated charcoal and I give it a really good thick layer across the entire bottom of the tank. Next, to help maintain humidity, I add a nice layer of sphagnum moss, and then I start to add some of my really good substrate mix. This is my own tropical substrate mix, and you can see how I make that with a video link in the description. So then I just start to put in the plants and bits of hardscape that I have to get a general idea of how it's going to look in the tank, space wise, and just get a really good idea of what I'm doing. Now I've got a bit of an idea of what I'm going to do with the hardscape pieces and the plants, flowers, whatever you want to call them. Right, I take them out and I start to add my other substrate. Now you can instantly see the difference in this. This is high quality, fertile substrate. Slightly different to my tropical mix, which is designed mainly for humidity purposes. So this is more of a cleaner substrate that's just going to go around. It has got some carbon mixed into it already, and that's basically all it is, just a substrate that I'm not going to tell you what I mixed together for it, but there is some carbon in there. So that's the next layer, and I just covered the entire thing with this entire base level. I decided, as normal, to put the larger items towards the back. Obviously the substrate is sloped towards the back as well to give depth and more land space for the ants to explore. This is also vital because they're going to want to dig a nest somewhere, so they need a deeper substrate, preferably one area at least, so I've gone for the entire back area. You can see the plants at a slight angle, and this is basically just to help it not touch the sides of the glass. I've built up the bank around the front of the plant and placed in these hardscape pieces to help keep it in place and just to make it look slightly nicer. The log I'm still going to mess about with, and I need to get it into the exact position I want. I have got some more plants if they're needed, so I kind of like the big hole in the middle. I might put a plant in that. We're yet to see. So after a lot more messing about with the wood, trying to get it to a position that I liked, I finally decided on that position, and I went into more hardscape like I always like to do, a nice big feeding rock to basically keep the substrate a bit cleaner. I've also added in my springtail culture in with the soil at this point, and this is really helpful to make it bioactive from the very start. Now I've got most of the hardscape and larger elements in place, the tank's really starting to look good and come together. So it's time to put in the mosses. This is moss from the hanging wood, but I'll put the link in the description. It's really great high quality moss. So I'm going to spray it all down at this point just to make the whole place nice and humid, get some moisture into the substrate and help it settle down. This is also going to help the moss kind of root itself to whatever I put it on. It's also going to help the plants and the ants when they come in. As the water passes through the layer of activated carbon, it acts like a filter system. So when it evaporates back into the humidity and comes back up through the tank, it is nice and clean and not going to cause any harmful mold outbreaks. It's then time to add the isopods and make this really bioactive. Now that's really important cleanup crew. This will help get rid of any exoskeletons, mold outbreaks, or just anything that needs to be get rid of. It's really important for a bioactive tank like this. And that's pretty much it. A few more alterations to make and I'm going to add another plant to the left hand side, but I'll show you that later. Let me know what you think of this tank. Leave me a comment below. Next, to introduce the ants. These are Asian bullet ants. Look at the size of the test tube compared to a normal size test tube. This thing is massive, the biggest I've ever had. And they are really cool, massive ants. Just look at them. These ants run off a gamma gate system, which means they're all born with the ability to produce real eggs. The gamma gate is the most dominant worker and has fought for the position to be so, and goes around and castrates new workers at birth to stop them from having this ability. She looks like a normal worker, so it's really hard to tell where she is, and when she dies, newly hatched workers will fight for the right to become the new gamma gate. This is a really difficult colony to keep in the longevity because you need to keep adding drones at exactly the right time, just when the gamma gates are fighting for the gamma gate position. Which can be quite hard to tell really, because they love to fight between themselves anyways. An aggressive species. So let's add them to the tank. I've now made the tank ant ready. The barrier is in place. There's sugar water in one of these towers, mineral water in the other, and a freshly killed cockroach. There's also the heating on and everything else in place that the ants are going to need for their longevity and survival. So I'm adding the ants now. And if you haven't yet subscribed, press that button now and press that bell icon so you don't miss all the future videos. And to see that, you're going to have to check out that hidden video. Sorry guys, but I didn't want to bore you with 45 minutes of footage. But if you are interested in that, head over to the link in the description and watch that video too. I've sped it up really fast and I don't talk at all, so it's just nice music and then moving into the nest. So as always, see you again ant fans.